And hello folks, welcome to May the S-Force be with you. This is Nathan Pepper, and we're going to explore some Salesforce topics that have been on the mind of somebody dear to me today. Let's go ahead and ask our co-host, what's been on your mind, sir? What's this? This has been on my mind too. Access WebServices API and Metadata API through Apex. Now you may be wondering, why would we want to do something like that? Well, let's go ahead and show you here. See, we've got your Apex classes. This is the standard code customization area for Salesforce. You make an Apex class or make an Apex trigger. You can also make views, in the MVC model or Visual Force Pages, which has components. But the problem is you're only exposed to what the Apex language allows you to. Now, a client application written in Java or C# that accesses Salesforce through one of these APIs, many of which are SOAP. There's also a REST API interface. Obviously, a web services description language is going to describe a SOAP API. So some of these biggies are the enterprise WSDL or the more generally typed partner WSDL, which just doesn't have specification of every object in your organization. And some of you may be in organizations that are so large that the enterprise WSDL might be quite a headache to port into Apex. And also the metadata WSDL, which allows you to access objects, fields, right, all of that configuration data, which is only accessible not programmatically, but through the Metadata API or through the click interface inside of Salesforce. So what we got here is Salesforce offers a generate from WSDL functionality. So you may be thinking, all right, well, I want to access the metadata WSDL from inside of Apex, so I'm just going to get the WSDL file from the API section right here, and I'm going to go generate the metadata WSDL. And in my case, that was my metadata WSDL. And I'm going to save it here, and then I'm just going to go pop in and try to generate from WSDL. And then you can just take that WSDL file, right, and pop this into here. This is going to parse through that WSDL file and look at all the different namespaces. So let's try to load the metadata WSDL first. Metadata WSDL, let's parse. And it's going to find the different namespaces. In the metadata, we only have one. So let's not call our Apex class this SOAP S-Force com. How about just metadata WSDL? Metadata WSDL. And let's generate Apex code from that. What's going to happen here? It's going to work. No, it's not going to work. So, class name metadata already in use. Now it's interesting, that wasn't the name of the Apex class that we were creating. That was a class inside of that, inside of the outer class metadata WSDL, which we were trying to create from the WSDL file. So that class, metadata WSDL, had an inner class, metadata. And see, the problem is, that's already in use. There's already a class metadata. If we go over here and look at the metadata API, we can see here, now look in the reference, metadata types. Now this is interesting. This is a different section than further up here, right? This is the metadata API online documentation, not the PDF. Using metadata API, declarative metadata types. This is actually where you're going to look to get what you put in the XML for for the different metadata components. But down here, you'll see that metadata is specified as a class, right, as a type inside of Salesforce. So that's why we're getting this error right here, metadata already in use. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at how to get through, we'll do it in two different videos. We'll look at the partner WSDL XML file, and then we'll look at the metadata WSDL XML file, and we're going to identify each of the keywords that you need to escape before you implement the Apex, the WSDL to Apex functionality that Salesforce offers here. So go ahead and log into those two videos. We've got the partner WSDL here, and then we've got the metadata WSDL video here. And after we get both of those files up and into your Salesforce instance, we're going to walk through how you actually use those to access the WebServices API and the Metadata API from within Apex. So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more. May the S-Force be with you. Thanks.